Maybe it was the Instagram selfies, but Molly was like, I'm just here to defend Lauren. I guess it's nice to meet you. Bye-bye. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Selena and today we are reviewing Love is Blind Season 8 Episode 11. We are almost at the end of the last batch of episodes right before the weddings. Let's get into it. I have my notes here. Remember at the end of Episode 10, we saw Lauren and Dave talking at the bowling alley. Dave mentions how he doesn't want to waste his sister's time, which is so disrespectful to Lauren. No surprise that there was that mention there. Lauren says, if you don't want to disrespect your sister, let me know. Because at this point, he just talks about people that she can't meet. And he says, can we not have this conversation here? So they go to this movie theater. Thought that was kind of random. I don't know if that was a part of the bowling alley, if it's one of those entertainment buildings and they just have a movie theater there. And I have some quotes here because this scene is so annoying. Dave kind of mentions that when he met Lauren's dad, also named Dave, off camera, that the dad kind of interrogated Dave a little bit. He said, it felt like your dad felt that I was here to kind of see what happens, which it is. Dave, you mentioned that you didn't think that you'd get this far in Love is Blind, and last episode you mentioned that you thought you were kind of leading your sister on because she didn't think that you would get engaged. That's lie number one so far. Lauren was responding and saying how I don't know why it feels like it's all on me and I'm not given the chance to explain myself, meet your family, meet your friends. You don't want me to meet your friends and family. Dave says his family and friends would show up if they really wanted to, and then Lauren calls him out and says they're not. And Lauren is not saying that the family and friends don't want to. She's implying that Dave doesn't want Lauren to meet Dave's family and friends. So again, this is one of those really frustrating scenes. You can tell that Dave was skirting around his true feelings, that he's been wanting to break it off with Lauren. He kind of says something and then says something to contradict it. He says his family and friends would show up if they really wanted to, but also said that they're iffy about meeting Lauren. Dave essentially breaks it off. Lauren's in tears. They kind of just sit there awkwardly for a second, and then Lauren gets up and leaves. Then you have Dave in his confessional.
I feel like I let her down in a way because I couldn't get over my own ego, my own pride that could have seen some other guy before me, which is very normal.
Dave is saying that he wished it ended differently. It's just really stupid. Listen to this though. Lauren mentions how when Dave was going to visit his sister after they got back from Honduras, Lauren wrote Dave's sister a letter explaining who she is, explaining that she really loves Dave and how she feels about Dave, stating that she'd love to meet Dave's sister. Keep in mind, that is going above and beyond after knowing what Dave has been putting Lauren through, like not letting Lauren meet his family and friends, saying things that Dave's family allegedly said about Lauren, and writing a letter is honestly, that's just going above and beyond to explain who you are. There was no option for Lauren to call Dave's family or whatever. Lauren says that Dave never gave his sister Lauren's letter. Maybe she's reflecting and saying that should have made me call it quits, even though she should have called it quits in the pods. But I think Lauren's reflecting and learning at this point. When Dave visited his sister, Lauren also mentions how that was a week ago. And I think that we forget how short of time that they have in the pods and in the honeymoon phase. So for that to be a week ago, that's crazy. All of the engaged couples meet for snow tubing, and it's kind of just one of those fun things. And then later on, everyone else from the pods comes. So during the snow tubing, that's just the engaged couples. So Lauren's not there, Dave's not there. It's Monica, Joey, Sara, Ben. Oh my gosh. I'm losing people's names already. Devin and Virginia, and Taylor and Daniel. And it's really cute. I want to go snow tubing. I've never gone snow tubing. I've done skiing at a local place in Ohio, and they also make fake snow, and that was really fun. I've only done that once. But they all do the snow tubing, people race, they all go together and they hold each other and they go down the hill. That was cute to watch. People start trickling into the place, a lot of the people from the pods. You can tell Virginia and Devin are kind of lovey-dovey, but one thing I didn't like is Devin was at the table with some people, I don't know who. And Virginia was kind of just being lovey-dovey, going up to him, giving him a kiss, and just kind of standing there for a second. And then Devin said, "You can go now." I didn't like how that was delivered, but okay. So Molly comes in, and Molly and Lauren have a little girl chat, and this is a really good conversation. I feel like a lot of us were surprised that Molly was such a girl's girl. I didn't think Molly was a bad person, but I don't know why. I just wasn't expecting her to be like that. Maybe it's because she was so open about who she was dating in the pods, and, you know, maybe you could figure that that's someone who wants them to know that they're dating someone, but I guess she really thought Sara was the other girl. But anyways, Molly is great. She and Lauren are outside having a little one-on-one. Lauren kind of mentions, "Hey, we've broken up." Molly was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I kind of wanted to have a chat with you. I didn't want to be the one to randomly text you. I was at the basement bar. Dave was there too. Apparently, a girl was all over him. I didn't see it, but I was told that, and we did not meet at that bar." So Lauren knows that Molly and Dave were at the same bar, that they didn't meet, but Lauren's just now finding out about this. Lauren responds saying, "We're not together anymore." Molly was like, "Girl, I think we dodged a bullet. When I saw those Instagram selfies, I'm glad that it didn't work out." And then Lauren just cracks up. That was a really good conversation.
He wasn't that great. Like, I mean, did you see his selfies on his Instagram?
Lauren tells Molly about what's been going on. Molly is saying how that's BS and that he should have fought for Lauren, either had his parents and family, friends meet Lauren, or just break up. There's no point to lead it on, and he obviously didn't want to fight for Lauren. They also discuss how Dave probably had a situationship too before filming Love is Blind, and he wants to focus on Lauren's situationship before coming here. So they were saying how Dave's definitely not celibate, and he's not a virgin before coming here, so I don't know why he holds Lauren to those standards. Devin and Brittany meet, and I love Brittany. I think she is such a good, vibrant person. Brittany and Devin go outside. They kind of have a one-on-one, and I thought it was interesting because she kind of confronts him about how they ended things and what kind of led to it. I like this conversation because it seems like she wanted to let him know her feelings about his response to her being vulnerable about her sexuality. She mentions how she didn't kind of like his response and felt a certain way about it. What I didn't like is that Devin didn't even acknowledge what she had said or apologize. He kind of just changed the subject.
And then I shared my, it's not like a secret. You know? I did think that was kind of immature.
Okay.
You know, I just kind of felt like, bruh, everybody a little gay. No. Maybe a little more support around.
Okay. I think for us, it worked out how it was supposed to.
He basically said, "Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad it didn't work out. I'm happy with Virginia." Brittany, I think she's just a humble, good person. She ended up continuing that topic of the conversation, and she's saying, "I think you both are really great together. Out of all the couples here, I think you two are the most genuine. You genuinely love each other, and I think it's good. I'm happy for you both. Virginia's a great girl," and that's it. But I didn't like how Devin kind of skirted over the topic. We see this time and time again that Devin avoids answering questions. So anytime that there's something that could be seen as an uncomfortable topic, he just skirts past it. Look at how he reacts to the prenup conversation. Look at how he reacts to the politics conversation, and how Brittany was talking to him about how they had their conversation about her sexuality and his response. I know when we reviewed episode 8, I was saying how I'm kind of rooting for Devin and Virginia. Well, I do not think that they are a power couple or anything like that. I think Virginia deserves better. I think Devin's just skirting by. He knows that Virginia is a successful woman. She's got a great head on her shoulders. She's financially stable. She knows what she wants in life. Devin, your political views do not align. You also don't answer any questions. I don't know, I just don't think that they're a match. I think they could be good friends. Anyways, let me know what you thought about that conversation with Brittany and Devin. Did you think that Brittany should have brought it up? I mean, that was probably her only time seeing Devin, you know? What did you think about that? Dave comes in and the boys are all excited. When he's sitting down and talking to the boys, he admits that he didn't want to be the one to break it off with Lauren. I think that he just admitted that he wasted Lauren's time because he wanted Lauren to break up with him. He didn't want to be the one to say anything. Mason and Meg walk in holding hands, and I think everyone is so shocked. I was a little bit too, because it seemed like Meg was done. She was like, "I do not want to be number 2 in the pods because you and Madison broke up. I will never know if I was ever going to be your number one. I don't want to be second choice. So that was a bit interesting. They did their own little reveal when they were home, and I thought that was cute. Meg had her reveal gown and everything. I think they're a good match, though. What do you think? I mean, it seems like they like to talk about the same things, the aliens and the ant farms and stuff, and changing the weather and stuff. But I think they're a good match for sure. Alex does come in, and Madison's already there. Madison says that once she got her phone back, Alex messaged her and kept asking her to meet him at the airport for a hug. Now, if you've heard of the recent allegations going around about Alex, I highly recommend watching Storytime with Ricky's video. I'm gonna put it here. It's really good. She dives into the receipts that she has about what Alex has done in the past, allegedly. I will just mention that allegedly Alex has interest in people below the age of 18, younger folks, allegedly. That is what people have told Storytime with Ricky, and Ricky does have receipts. So knowing that, like, can you just come here for a hug? That sounds very high school for me, which is kind of interesting. Alex and Madison do meet up in the airport. They end up talking on the phone a lot. Alex told Madison that Meg had messaged him, and apparently Meg messaged Alex before knowing if Madison and Alex were engaged. Allegedly, Meg went home first and then messaged Alex saying, "You were my number one." And at that point in time, Meg wouldn't have known if Madison and Alex got engaged. Then Madison says, "I don't know if Alex is trying to pin me and Meg against each other," which it sounds like it is. Because obviously Meg is gung-ho over Mason, and we never saw any type of conversations in the pods with Meg and Alex having some sort of connection, unless she got home, looked up everyone on her phone and was like, yes, I'm going to talk to him. But still, she's clearly with Mason now. Allegedly, Madison brought up Mason to Alex, and apparently, allegedly, Alex said Mason. So I don't know. In the pods, he was so gung-ho for supporting Mason, so that makes no sense. I honestly believe the allegations against Alex. You know, they don't do extensive background checks or anything for these shows. Anytime there is someone who's reporting a situation where they were taken advantage of, I think, for me, I always like to believe them unless they give me a reason not to. So many survivors and victims are not believed in this world. As someone who has gone through things and people don't believe me, I just always want to believe the survivor or the victim, or someone who is telling me something happened to them. Definitely check out that Storytime with Ricky video. It is very informative. Molly and Dave talk. This is their first time meeting. You can tell that Dave is curious if Molly thinks he's cute. There's no conversation like that, but the conversation is more so about Dave and Lauren, and Molly having Lauren's back. Molly says, "I'm sorry it didn't work out with Lauren." Dave says, "I'm usually the one to f things up." Molly mentions how that was one of the first things they talked about in the pods, how Dave messes things up and he sabotages himself. Molly says, "You push people away." Shout out to Molly for being a girl's girl. I know I mentioned this already, but the fact that she has Lauren's back in front of Lauren's face, and then also to have her back and address Dave, that says a lot, because a lot of people just say they'll have your back or just say things, but actually doing the action of it is a different story. Side note, if you're someone who doesn't like Molly's bangs, she no longer has them anymore. Go check her out on TikTok. Molly asked Dave why he didn't defend Lauren, his fiance, against his friends and family who have been saying allegedly mean stuff about Lauren. And why didn't Dave say, "Hey, this is my fiance, you're welcome to meet her or not, but this is someone that I'm in love with"? He never vouched for Lauren. Dave says, "I tried to, blah, blah, blah."
The information I gathered from her, it sounded like you did not give it a chance and you were just like pushing her away for her to end it. You don't feel that way?
No,
But why wouldn't you defend her for that when...
I did.
Don't you think if you are in a situation where you're ready to be married, or you're ready to like even introduce a girlfriend, you're like gonna defend that person? No?
It's not that easy.
Molly asked Dave the last time Dave had sex. He said a while, but him and Lauren have hooked up. And this made me think, because I know that they did not have sex right away during the honeymoon, but at some point I just wonder when, because we know when they got back from Honduras, Dave spent a week away, and then he also had a night at the bar with his friends. I'm curious when they hooked up, because I would hate for Lauren to feel like she had to hook up with him because he's pressuring her, or because she feel pressure to hook up with him to keep him and show that she's serious, even though I think that showing someone you're serious doesn't require being intimate like that. I would just hate for that to happen. Then Dave finds an excuse to bring up his sister in this conversation and just saying how his sister's concerned, blah, blah, blah. And Molly's not buying it. She says, you know what? Lauren's my girl. She's my number one, and I'm always going to defend her. And she gets up and she walks away. I also think what's admirable about it is that Molly didn't even feel the need to have any type of closure with what happened with them two. Maybe it was the Instagram selfies, but Molly was like, I'm just here to defend Lauren. I guess it's nice to meet you. Bye-bye. One thing that Molly said, and I quote, that I loved, she said, if you wanted it to happen, you would make it happen, which is very true. Because I think Lauren might have beat around the bush about that. Molly said it straight up. If you wanted your family and friends to meet Lauren, you would have made it happen. You've already alluded to that. They would come and support you if they wanted to, and it's not happened. I think this conversation between Molly and Dave is what really made him sad, and then he started to actually think about what he did. On top of that, he's drunk at this point. So he and Lauren have a conversation. Dave gives Lauren this drunken apology, admits his ego got in the way. He said he wanted to text Lauren after they broke up and just see if she's okay. That was his priority. And Lauren's like, you didn't text me. What's funny though is in the confessional when they broke up, the producers were like, have you talked to your sister? And he's like, yeah, I texted her. I told her I broke things off with Lauren. And the producer said, what did she say? She sent me a teary-eyed emoji and let me know if you need anything, I'm here. So we know that after they broke up, he immediately texted his sister saying that he broke it off with Lauren. And now he's in front of Lauren's face saying he just wanted to make sure she was okay, and he never texted her. Good job, Lauren, for calling that out. Dave kind of repeats the same things in a drunken way. He mentions how he's sorry, it's his fault. He let himself get in the way of their relationship. He focused on her situationship too much. He gives a diluted apology. Lauren cries.
It was my fault. Like, it was my ego got in the way of like really seeing what we had. I guess what I'm saying is I'm really sorry.
She says, you know, it's too late. I want to believe what you said. I think most of me does believe what you said. There's nothing we can do at this point. And then that's that. And that was in front of people. So a lot of people were looking at them like, ooh, what's going on? You know, they're talking. Nothing happens with that, which is good. Sara and Ben go to church, and this is Ben's church. I don't know if this was overproduced, but they physically go to a church, and the sermon, I think that's what it's called, but the sermon is about relationships. And it's one of those churches where they physically go to the church, but it's a stream or it's a virtual projection. So they're kind of watching the priest or the pastor on the screen. I don't know what delineation Ben is. I don't know if it's Catholicism. I don't know what religion Ben is, but the person speaking the sermon is on the big screen. It seems like Sara is so bored. Like, she's just playing with her fingers. She's yawning a lot, looking around. I don't know. She has her arms crossed, and the producers are zooming in on her being bored.
So let's talk about Sara and this whole church thing. Sara, I get you are an activist of all activists. You are supporting the black community. You supporting the LGBTQ community. You supporting everybody. I'm not getting this whole church thing because I personally don't think you're going to get what you're expecting to get or to find. Like the way she went to this church one time and she was like, oh, I listened to it, and they never said anything about, I think it was transgender or something, like kids and something. They compared it to something else, and I just don't think it was something I could get into. I don't know that many churches that are doing that. Like, realistically, I think you are setting your expectations very high for certain churches just because all-inclusive church, like there are some churches, you know, all-inclusive, but they're not, like, there's not a lot of topics they're like straight out saying.
At the end of the service, Sara says, I don't think I got the answer of whether or not this church or service necessarily aligns with my values of being open or diverse and accepting everyone around us. Okay, we already know how I feel about Sara making performative activism her personality. Not that I'm defending the church, but I am curious. The virtual church in itself, so she was watching virtual church, but physically at church. And the physical church didn't seem like there was a lot of people there. It was a big building. Curious of how she's going to know that by having one service that she went to. If she's going by the participants of the church and how diverse they are, you're not going to get a lot of data just knowing there's not a lot of people in person, and you can't see who's virtually there. If the sermon specifically said, hey, we support LGBTQ+, then maybe she would have gotten an answer. But from one service, you can't really get an answer on whether or not they support things that you support. So I thought that was interesting. I also think, just as someone who does not go to church, when someone has hosted me in the past, like an in-law who goes to church regularly, for me, as a respect thing, I went to their church and I would still at least bow my head or like, you know, at least pay attention. I just feel like it's important to be respectful, because if you want Ben to assimilate to your values because he allegedly doesn't have them, then I don't see why you can't still be respectful in someone else's religion. Notice how she says the word acceptance after Kelsey, who is Sarah's sister's girlfriend, called her out about the word acceptance, because it implies that people in same-sex relationships are doing something wrong. So it's not like she's even taking feedback and criticism from someone within the LGBTQ plus community and applying it. Because, like I said, you can still have values and you can still learn and grow. And I think part of the problem is that people want to think that they are advocating for values, advocating for certain issues, but when you're not even trying to do the research or accepting constructive criticism, accepting feedback, learning and applying what you've learned, that makes it even worse. So that makes your internalized performative activism more elevated, in my opinion. Then Sara says, you know what, I'd still come to the service again, just giving it another chance. We see Devin and Virginia practice for their wedding. That's really it. We see Monica and Joey play pickleball, and that was really it. Then we see Taylor and Daniel. They are decorating a set to take pictures. Remember how Daniel takes Christmas pictures every year by himself, and this is the first time he can do that with a fiance. So their wedding favors are going to be ornaments. So the picture that they take today will be inside the Christmas ornament that they give out at their wedding. If that doesn't tell you that they're going to get married, I don't know what does. I don't know. We've seen it before in Love is Blind Germany. I think Taylor and Daniel are actually going to get married, but that's my opinion. What do you think? I did think it was cute that they wore their reveal outfits. So Taylor wore her reveal dress, Daniel wore his reveal suit. Then we go wedding dress and tux shopping. These scenes, they were okay. I feel like they didn't give as much as I wanted to see. They felt short to me. I don't know. We see Sara try on one dress and she picked it. She looked beautiful. I think she was really confident in that one and it was cute. I did notice how she didn't really get emotional. I mean, not saying that everyone has to get emotional. I feel like the brides, sometimes when they try on the dresses, they just start thinking about their love for the person, and it just wasn't really there. But there was a cute moment with her and her sister. You can tell her sister Lisa is very happy for her. It was a cute dress. We see Joey and he's talking to his friends. He mentions how he's a bit more spontaneous, but Monica's not. He's just noticing differences in how they are. Monica tries on a dress and it has a beautiful slit and looks good. Monica's mom is there and Monica's friend is there. Notice how her sister isn't there. I wouldn't want her jealous sister at my wedding dress try on either, because I feel like she'd ruin the moment. What do you think? Do you think Monica's jealous sister is jealous? I mean, do you think Monica's sister is jealous? Let me know. And do you think Monica's sister should have came? If Monica's super close with that friend, I don't see why not. When Joey is talking to his friends about the differences between him and Monica, he mentions that Monica wants a for sure answer now. It felt like Monica has asked him what he's going to say at the altar, from what I gathered at that conversation, because Joey is saying how she wants to know where he's at with things. Which I get. I could see if I was in that situation, I'd say, hey, where are you at with the wedding? How are you feeling? The way that Joey said how Monica was asking him, it seemed like Monica asked Joey what he's going to say so she doesn't look stupid at the altar, but I don't know. I don't think Monica would do that, but I did think that was interesting. It also made me wonder if Joey's been a bit more distant and maybe his love language is not words of affirmation or something. There seems to be some sort of disconnect. Or Monica could be overthinking it, which I got you, girl. I'm part of the overthinkers club as well. Also, Taylor and Daniel are definitely getting married because Taylor had Daniel's mommy and her own mommy at the wedding dress try on. If that doesn't say that they're getting married, I don't know what does. Have we ever seen a Love is Blind bride have both moms there? I don't know, but that's amazing. Taylor tried on this really pretty dress that fit like a glove. yes, she had some cleavage, but she looked great. Mom didn't like that her girls were out. Taylor tried on another dress that had more coverage, and then she chose that dress. I don't know how conservative they are about showing boobage. However, I feel like it's fine, and I feel like Taylor's worn things that maybe show a little bit of skin or a little bit of curve, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, but I thought that was interesting. But everyone looked beautiful. I loved all the dresses. Virginia's dress looked like a fairy tale. She looked like a princess. It was really sweet. I love the conversation between Virginia's mom and Virginia. Virginia was also the most emotional about Devin, or about her spouse, or potential spouse. I feel like Virginia was the only one that kind of got the feels and was saying she's excited. Devin's the best man she's ever known. This is great. She's happy that her mom's here. And then her mom was super sweet and saying, I'm always here for you. I think Virginia is definitely invested in Devin. I feel like she was feeling the emotions when she put that dress on, for sure. Keeping up with Devin and Virginia, we see them at their apartment, and it's mentioned that Devin's birthday is this week. He also mentions how he has a lot of events going on with basketball, so he just has a lot going on. Virginia prints out the prenup, and she just casually hands it over to Devin. She said, hey, printed this out for you. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and sign. It's very fair, like I said. I'm not trying to take anything from you. We both leave what we came with in the event we divorce. You can just tell Devin does not want this. The way that Devin responds to things, it's stuff that he wants to say, but he words it in a way to where it doesn't seem like he believes what he's saying. To give you context, when Virginia gives him the prenup, he says, what would you say to people who ask, why are you getting a prenup if you don't plan on getting divorced? What would you say to someone who asks that? Then Virginia explains herself again, saying it's more so just business. It's not that I don't think it'll work out, but in the event that it does, I'm having some plan in place to where it's even and it's fair. It's just business. It's the business part of marriage. And I'm yelling at my screen saying, Virginia already said this. And so Devin then says that he'll talk to his family attorney. He'll also talk to his family about it and take the prenup to his family to look at it. And Virginia is just so forthcoming. She says you can add or remove, do whatever, but go ahead and look through it. I mean, at this point they have less than 2 weeks, so they really need to get their ducks in a row. What I didn't like is that Devin said, and I quote, he'll have his parents' lawyer or someone that I trust look at it. You didn't even have to add that. Like, that's implied. But I also feel like that means he doesn't trust Virginia, which, do your own research with the prenup and stuff. But I just didn't like how he said that. And that is where we end with episode 11. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this episode. It felt like it was very fast. I don't know. A lot had happened. Do you think that Devin should bring his prenup to his family or just the attorney? Is that necessary? Do you think Taylor and Daniel are going to get married? What did you think of the dresses? I guess we didn't really get to see more of the suits. What did you think of the suit scenes? I think the suits were cute. I forgot to mention Joey's is like a lighter blue. Kind of don't care about Ben's. They all seem like normal suits. I'm not in that realm, so let me know if you like the suits. What do you think of Dave and Lauren finally breaking up? What did you think of Molly calling out Dave? Tell me what you think down below. Let's have a discussion. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you don't, I just appreciate you being here. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye!